YouTube. It's your man, Mad Genius Rants. Hollering at y'all, tapping in. Beautiful day outdoors. Just had to get a breath of fresh air, been cooped in pretty much all day and everything, so decided to get out and come to the park and get some content. So wanted to go ahead and make something happen. So yeah, pretty normal day, quiet day, and pretty much the usual for me anyways. But I had some things I wanted to get off my chest and talk about a little bit and express not much rage or venting, but in ways possibly venting. But this is pretty much the height, or one of the heights of my pretty average boring life at 40 years old. 40-year-old male. And life, I have found myself in the last months, weeks and days, just contemplating and considering life and my present. And it just seems like day after day is so mundane and pretty plain, and it's nothing I'm mad about or upset about or anything of that nature, but it just is what it is. I'm getting and have gotten to a place where I am comfortable and have accepted that this is life. At 40 years old, middle-aged man who's in reality my best days are behind me, but I look up and look forward to the future, though no day is guaranteed. I can't be mad or complain, because as much as it would be amazing if life was more thrilling and had a little bit more excitement, I can't complain with the life that I have. Currently I don't have a girlfriend, fiance, significant other, wife, concubine, and I'm not even necessarily searching or looking for one. I'm pretty much in monk mode, and I got another channel that I've dedicated several videos to, a series called Monk Mode Chronicles, which I just may transfer to this channel for anybody who might be interested in checking out the Monk Mode Chronicles. But I don't want to go too hard on that right now in this moment. I just kind of want to keep things pretty much in general. But yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. There's nothing wrong with this life of not necessarily having a significant other, a wife or a girlfriend, a concubine, anything like that, baby mama. And that's totally fine. No kids, no kids from what I know of, that I'm aware of. No dog, no dogs. Though I had a dog for years. Probably in the last, I want to say it might be maybe 3 years or so now. He was probably the best dog I've ever had, and I've been around, loyal, sweet. It was a blue pit, but unfortunately I had to sadly put him down because he was experiencing some health issues that pretty much compromised his way of life, standard of living. So it was just best to just peace. And I really don't have I don't have many what I would even consider friends, though I have a few people who throughout the years we've maintained contact and connection. A few very special people to me who, you know, no matter the distance, the time that, you know, we may go without necessarily communicating and stuff like that, it just never feels that whenever we do reconnect, things just, you know, flow. And so I do have a few people who I can reach out to if needed, when needed, and have, you know, mentally, spiritually building conversations, you know, things of that nature. So I'm grateful for those few people. But in this world, I found that it's not many real people out, you know, and I can't discount or disregard every single person because I don't know everybody. You know, I'm sure, you know, there's a lot of good people out here, and I'm sure a lot of people genuinely set out to do good. But for a middle-aged man, and I'm a African American, what they would call, or black, or which they will also call me, man, I find that this world can be very cold, but I don't want to make this about race necessarily, but just stating facts and reality of my experience in life. But yeah, it could be a cold world out here, and a lot of people can really, you know, genuinely make you feel as if you don't matter. Or some people may even try to make you feel like you don't matter, but that's all. One thing about my life, though, it is tranquil, peaceful, and quiet, and calm, and boring. Pretty much mundane, and pretty much every day is like the other previous. Not many thrills to expect for tomorrow, but I mean, I have some hope for some things to happen in my life that I look forward to. But you know, if those things don't happen, it's pretty much the same thing every day. Go to work from home, and after I get off, pretty much chilling at the house. You know, I might grab something to eat or cook if I cook, watch a little TV. If not, maybe come to the park like I did today. I coach football, so that's a thrill of my life. So, you know, that's probably definitely one of the highlights of my life is coaching football. But pretty much everything else is the same. But you know, with that being said, being a middle-aged man, I don't necessarily set out for clout to, you know, be looked upon. I don't necessarily seek or set out for notoriety or popularity. So, social media life, dating life, definitely is minimal at best, you know. there's a lot of beautiful women, I would say, are online and on social media and stuff like that I admire and possibly desire, but the reality of them ever considering me, minimal, because of all the attention that they get. You know, I don't necessarily stand out, especially being an introvert, being someone that naturally is to myself, and my lifestyle is minimalistic, so I'm not the person with the most swag or the most flash, so I don't necessarily peacock for attention, and I don't desire to do that either. But these are just facts of my life, and it's fine, because I know there's somebody else out there who might feel the same way or be in the same position I am. Whether you are 40, maybe you're a little older, or maybe you're younger. Maybe you're 20 years old and you find that your life is pretty much mundane, and you just, everything is kind of stale and boring in your life. Maybe you can relate. Homebody. I don't necessarily look to go out to the clubs, to go bar hopping, to be seen, to go be bopping. I mean, that's not necessarily in me these days. There once was a time when I was younger where, some of the friends that I associated with at that time, we would go go out, hit the clubs and bars Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And those times were fun times, but when I look back at those times, though they were fun, they were wasteful years, wasted a lot of time, wasted a lot of money, and I wish I was wiser with those years and with that time and with that money. But it is what it is. That's what happens as you get older. You get wiser, so you can just move and do things different. Pretty much just like a regular dude, man. I mean, I'm not rich, just average. I make a bit over $60,000 a year. Nothing, no frills about that. I'm able to maintain a decent lifestyle where I can stay above water and be able to save and invest here and there. But again, not a flashy person whatsoever. Going back to the minimalistic lifestyle, man. I drive a 2006 Toyota Corolla that could use some work. Could use some paint job, some maintenance things, but I make do with it. It gets me to and from places I need and want to go, so I can't complain. But the world may, from the outside looking in, see me as just a boring person, but that's just fine with me. I don't even own a home at 40. There might be people who might look down on me just because I don't own property or a home or something like that, and that's cool. That's just fine, because in my situation, I'm not necessarily trying to be drowning in debt. I mean, I have some very minimum debt that I'm steadily decreasing. Another thing about me, I'm a non-church core. As of maybe going on about 3 years now, 2 or 3 years now, I removed myself from religion. I was a part of religion that some may even consider a cult. Some people may have heard of it. It's called Hebrew Israelism. And maybe on this channel I might rant about some of that stuff. But I found some falsehood in it and some misleadingness about it. So I have chosen to separate myself from that. And so, you know, that's been an adjustment because on most Saturdays, which some people may consider the Sabbath, that day was full of, you know, church activities, a lot of church service and things I thought was leading me closer to Christ, but in reality, those things, a lot of those things and a lot of those rituals were, what in hindsight, what I would consider vain worship, because those things didn't truly get me closer to Christ. So when I find falsehood in something that I'm a part of, being a man, anytime there's something that I don't agree with, I have to disassociate myself from it and choose to not be involved with it, because it's a waste of time, you know. Anytime you find something false, something you don't believe in, it's like, why continue in it? So I made the decision to separate myself from religion. You know, I do believe in Christ. I'm a Christian. I believe in Christ, though I'm not perfect. And again, you know, in subsequent videos, I may get into some ranting about religion and some of my thoughts on spirituality and things of that nature. But it's pretty much an introductory video in hopes of more to come. But with all that said about my boring life at 40, I must say that it is very peaceful, though. That's something that no one can take from me, is my peace of mind. Because in a world that we live in, that can be cold, cruel, and evil, it's a blessing to be in a state of peace of mind when you can easily find yourself or you can easily find, you know, just going out and about in the streets and neighborhoods, inner city, downtowns, streets, or whatever the case, people who appear to maybe have lost their mind or be out of their mind because of internal or external factors. You know, possibly people are dealing with spirits and stuff that got a hold of them. If not, you know, drugs, depression, you know, sadness, madness, amongst other things. So, though my life is boring, I'm at peace. And being single and not having a woman in my life or kids, you know, like not having a woman to worry about her whereabouts, you know, whether she's where she says she's at, when she says she's there, or constantly calling, texting me, wanting and needing to know my whereabouts. Like I don't have to worry about having to trust an individual with my heart, I don't have to worry about trusting somebody with my feelings and my emotions and I don't have to trust no one with my vulnerabilities, or that they may try to use those things against me. I don't have to worry about my safety in regards to, whether it's domestic violence within the house, possibly being accused of something, and risking my life and time and freedom. I don't have to worry about a lot of those things, the drama's not there. So I'm saying the fair yes, my life is very boring, but I don't have to worry about someone taking advantage of me, or taking me for granted, or neglecting me after I've opened up to them, and expressed desire to want to, for my desire for companionship, for a companion, and then to waste time in my life with someone who just doesn't care, ultimately, or reckless with my life and my emotions and my feelings. So I don't have to worry about those things. Yes, my life is boring, but aside from having to work a job currently, which, God willing, the day will come when I don't have to work a job. But aside from working a job, I'm a free man. I'm free to go wherever I want to go, whenever I want to go, as often as I want to go, for as long as I want to go, and do whatever I want to do, So these are huge benefits that I see no problem with by having a boring life, and being minimal. There's minimal to no expectational pressures. The world may look at me, hey, you're a male, 40 years old, you don't got no kids, you don't got no woman, you ain't got no house, you ain't got no car, you don't have your own business, you don't have no social media clout. I mean, I can care less about societal norms, but as far as expectation, I don't have additional roles that I'm expected to fulfill those obligations. Like being a boyfriend, there's expectations. Something as simple as having to satisfy her sexually, which I wouldn't have no problem with that. But there's the mere fact that a woman can be very hard to satisfy, even if you give her everything she wants and needs. She could possibly continue to want more, or continue to be insatiable. So I'm free from that. I'm free from the expectational pressure of being a father, of having that constant pressure to provide. Because, like, say for instance, dealing with my job, if something were to happen, I wouldn't have no problem at any point, if I disagree wholeheartedly with something dealing with my job, just dipping out and just finding another job. But if I were to be a father, then that pressure will be amplified because I have to make ends meet to provide for my kids, which is a manly obligation. But not having those kids, I don't have to worry about that pressure. And not to say I don't want to have kids, because soon, maybe one of these days, one of these years, I'll find the right person to have kids. But that's what's most important for me, is finding a strong connection with somebody who we share common morals and goals, to where we can have a foundation to bring some kids in, because it's not a hard thing to make kids, obviously, but to do it the right way, that's what I'm aiming for, if I even go through with it, you know. Because some people, I consider them to hustle backwards, you know. They'll find a woman, now they're trying to find a job. They'll find a woman, now they're trying to start a business. Or they'll have kids, now they're trying to get the job. Or they'll have kids, now they're trying to start the business. I'd rather do things the right way initially and set it up for success from the beginning. That's what I prefer. And I don't see nothing wrong with it. And another thing about my boring minimalistic life is, you know, it's not material. I don't have to get the newest anything. You know, I consider myself a technical lagger. I've been having the same cell phone for years, and I don't have no problem. I probably will keep the same little cell phone as long as it continues to be able to dial out, receive calls, text out, receive text, to use data. And I want to say it's 4G. It's not even 5G, so it's not even the latest technology. So I don't have to get the newest anything. I don't have to get the newest car and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm chilling with my boring minimalistic life. And just fine. I'm able to save a lot of money. I'm able to invest when I see fit, when I see a good opportunity, and, you know, hope for the best for the future. Though nothing's guaranteed, but, you know, I hope to wake up rich every day. But if it's not the case, it's back to the grind for me. So I just may do more of these talks about my boring life and rants about this and other things. But this is an introductory video. You know, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel. But yeah, this is my life at 40. It's a chilling day amongst others who just enjoy simple things, simple life. We just out and about. We just outdoors at the park, chilling, enjoying a beautiful day. So peace to y'all. Catch y'all on the other side.